I can't wait to get you out of the box and all laid out on my desk. Okay, that was a little creepy, and I'm kind of sorry, but not really. But in case you guys couldn't guess it, we're going to do an unboxing today. And this is a Z170 motherboard, so that means Skylake. And this is MSI's M7 gaming motherboard. So let's get this box open. Well, first I guess we'll take a tour around the box. We have this nice sort of matte paint on here, or texture. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a texture to it. Got all those little beauty shots on here and all that stuff. And then we also have all their advertised doohickeys on here. Gaming LAN boot, or audio boost, SLI crossfire, DDR4 boost, USB 3.1. So that's faster. It says it is, so it must be faster. But enough of that. We'll just get this open now. There it is. There's our shiny new motherboard. But we're going to do that last. I know. I really want to get to it too, but first we'll do the rest of this box. So we have this little hidden layer down here. We have our red and black I/O shield. We have 4 SATA cables, 2 of which have right angle connectors, so should you need to make a tight bend with your SATA ports, there's that. A very large MSI case badge. Your bendy SLI bridge, because this is SLI enabled motherboard. Some shortcut connectors, which I will show you later on how to use those. Drivers and utilities, quick install guide, and what are these? These are, oh, labels. Okay, so you would take these stickers and you would wrap them around your SATA cords and write down what they are, so you can know exactly which SATA cables which in your case, whether it's your hard drive, your optical drive, your SSD. Thank you for purchasing an MSI product. A door handle, do not disturb, or it says, I'm sorry, busy gaming. And also, I'm not here. So if you find yourself in the situation where one of these is needed, you probably have to have a talk with whoever you're living with. Your user guide, so you can find out what each plug does and where it is on your motherboard. Now we got that stuff out of the way. Time to move on to the more exciting part, the actual motherboard. And this is in one of those anti-static bags here for you guys. All right. And here it is, your red and black themed gaming motherboard. And it seems that MSI really has a knack for this red and black thing here. We have that gaming badge, so we have the dragon on here. A very nice, sort of thick feeling, very nice and shiny heat sink for your power delivery service for your CPU. Some chromed out PCI Express brackets on here. These are actually something that they advertise for this board exclusively. Well, not this one particular, but their Z170 gaming motherboard lineup. They have reinforced PCI Express slots on here. So in other words, if you have a really heavy card, or if you're water cooling your card, it tends to weigh it down a bit. These express slots will not bend, or at least they won't bend as easily as others will. You have 2 of those slots here. only one of them being the 16x slot, and then we have an 8x slot down below that, and the final slot is not one of their reinforced ones, but it is also an 8x slot with up to the 16 slots, so you can do a three-way SLI on this motherboard. This is a regular sized ATX. This is not extended ATX like the M9 one is, but there's that. There's also a power reset button on here and some sort of thing that they call an OC knob, or so overclocking knob. So you turn this further and apparently push this button and away your CPU goes. Zoom. We'll figure out how that works. I'm not exactly sure, but something that I actually kind of spotted on the box as I was going over it is it has something called XMP lighting. So you have your RAM installed, and keep in mind this is DDR4 RAM that we will be installing on here because Skylake is capable of running DDR4 memory, and so is this motherboard. So you have your RAM installed, and if you're running an XMP profile on that RAM, apparently there's supposed to be some sort of red LED light that is going to light up these red traces on your motherboard. I'm not sure to how much of an effect that will be, but I think I see the little LEDs on here. And well, I guess you'll just have to see how well those actually light up, and if they light up at all. Maybe. It says XMP lighting, so I'd assume so. We have a little shield or cover for your IOs right here, so you don't have to look at that, though I'm not sure if I exactly want to look at that either. So we have our regular IO back here. We're going to start from the top. PS2 port, USB 2.0s, 3 of them, display port, 2 HDMI ports, Ethernet, just one Ethernet on here, 3 USB 3.0 slots, and one, bring this closer into the camera here, and hopefully it'll focus for you. There it goes. So we have our regular Type A connector up here for USB 3.0, and then right below it we have something called a Type C connector. So that is going to be reversible, and you don't have to worry about whether it's right side up, upside down, but it's the same sort of USB interface with a different sort of connector. So the Type C connector is on this motherboard, though the cables themselves may be a little harder to find. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but we have our regular, get it focused back, there it goes. We have our regular sort of analog audio here, optical audio as well. We have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, just 4 fan slots, I guess. 4 fan slots on this motherboard. 2 M.2 slots, so you can be running what they say twin turbo M.2 on here. They say you can run it faster if you run them in tandem, so that would be like a on-site or on motherboard sort of RAID configuration. Maybe. I'm just making assumptions here. We have a little LED number and letter indicator, so you can if it's not turning on or anything like that, it'll throw you a code. You can look up that code in the user manual and see exactly what's going wrong with your system. Find that out. And then we'll show you what that little shortcut thing was I was telling you about. And everyone has this sort of headache when they're wiring their computer. When you get to that part where you're wiring your power switch, reset switch, your hard drive activity light and all that stuff, you would just plug those into this little device right here that I'm holding in my hands. So you take those front I/O plugs and you plug them into each of these little prongs, and then you take this little cube right here and you just pop that in right on your motherboard. So as when your motherboard is plugged in or all set up into your case, you don't have to reach around anything or worry about getting it all the way plugged into the slot as much, and you can just sort of just plug them away on this block like I said and just plug it right in here. Now keep in mind this will extend the plugs on your cables, so they will end up sticking out a little further as a result, but it'll be a little easier in terms of installation. So there's that. Now I have actually something a little special to show you guys for this motherboard specifically, the M7 motherboard from MSI, and that is going to be, boom, EK water block. Bet you didn't see that one coming. But this one is actually going to be a little bit of a special EK water block here. This is actually something that they call their mono block. And what this is going to do, and I'll show you right here what it does, is going to replace this heat sink right here that is over our power delivery service for our CPU, is going to replace that and actively cool that area for you guys, along with cooling your CPU. So it's going to be a block probably about like yay big on here, and it is going to be, like I said, actively cooling this whole section for you as well, along with liquid cooling your CPU. And that is actually going to be where I'm going to end my unboxing of MSI's M7 Z170 motherboard for you guys today. If you want to see me actually install the EK monoblock for you, I'm going to release a video at the same time as this video detailing the installation procedure for installing it to this monoblock. I decided to keep them as two separate videos so as to conserve your time and so you don't have to actually watch what you don't really want to watch. So now you can choose which one you actually want to watch. You want to watch me unbox the board itself, or do you want to watch me install the monoblock? Well, use those buttons that the great YouTube gave us. I want 2 thumbs down. There we go. Use those buttons that the great YouTube gave us. Comment in the comment section down below. Express yourself. And this is Rick with Gigahertz TV signing off.